Sometimes when people don't take things people. My blog has allowed me to vent quite a bit over the years. I was living with a lady whom I deeply suspected was not a safe person to be around, and I remember I really liked her and lived there for a while. It was one of the nicest places I've lived in, aside from with my mother. And I felt a little guilty writing some things about her on my blog, but they turned out to be quite correct, and so I felt a little bit better that I marshaled myself enough to be honest about my qualms about her integrity. The surest way to know someone is to meet their friends. And if your friends don't respect you, you're in danger. If their friends don't seem to respect each other or themselves, you're in danger. If they don't seem to be able to get to know you without some agenda about getting more out of you than you might want to give, that's a danger. Right? Usually I would call my mom this time of day and it would sort of settle me. I don't have that power. Oh, I'm going to go home and check my tablet. Well, I try to keep my nose clean. I like writing poetry, and I don't want to have any interactions with the police, but I've found a way of suggesting to them through various, through indirections that, I'm interested in learning more about how they operate a little bit. And quite capable of learning a little more. I stopped at my first police stop one day, across the street. I didn't point my tablet. I just turned it on. It was an officer in a marked vehicle pulling over what looked to be a very lower economic female and handing out a ticket, maybe a warning. I don't know. But I just sort of stood there and thought, predatory, essentially. Lurking among the traffic. People have come to accept it, but it's like, I'm not too happy about that. It's right after Christmas, a time of great economic strain, and someone's in their car, bundled up because their heater probably doesn't work, trying to get to their destination on the $5 of gas they could buy, and now maybe they've got a $75 to $150 ticket for something that maybe they couldn't afford to fix yet. How does that sound right to you? And it's not like they don't pull over people of other economic stations, but it's like, I think the overwhelming preponderance, I think you'd find, is people of lower economic stations. In fact, most people in the area who aren't driving Beamers or whatnot and don't have the ability to, if nothing else, if you pull over someone with more money, it's not the same damage, is it? If someone makes $200,000 a year and they get a $200 speeding ticket and they're on YouTube going, they're going to make 250,000 views, and it's like, and they're driving a Lamborghini and they got a $200 ticket. Oh, I got a $200 ticket. It's nothing. It's like someone giving me a 2-cent ticket. Right? It's not the same. It's not like what's your income? Okay, here's a $5,000 ticket. It's not proportional, right? Okay, let's go. I'll do a little stretching. I've moved this bench back here. For a bit. again, all unsolicited advice. People being nice with that ask. This one's sociopathic sexual predator female. It's like, she's offering me all this unsolicited advice after she's come into my space without thank you or remorse or anything. And saying, for some reason, she's like, you should let everything flow around you. It's like, I've walked 15,000 miles. I let a lot of things flow over me and through me and every day. So yeah, I like watching YouTube videos about the police and what they do because it's like, I have a lot of trouble understanding what a police officer even does. And whether or not anyone except the police even really know, and whether or not even they know what they're doing every day. The one RCMP officer I ever talked to in plainclothes, off duty, suggested to me that he didn't think that military people ever kill anyone. And that was a conspiracy theory, that militaries ever killed anyone. This is someone carrying a badge and a gun. Right? Let's just make that perfectly clear. Now, I don't know if I took to understand exactly what he was implying, or if there was some other context to this. He had been in the reserves, or maybe he just thought that there were people who thought that soldiers were doing a lot more killing than they really were, or a lot of them really aren't deployed to do such things, and you can make all such arguments, but it's like, it's not like he's qualified it by saying, oh, but some of them do. You know, World War II was a bit bloody. He didn't seem to recognize any of human history, any of the war movies you've ever seen, and the number of people who have been executed by soldiers of any nation. Because once you lower people's inhibitions to the point of doing something that most humans probably don't find it very easy to do, which is to shoot people in a building, to bomb people. You know, I met a man whose family, he was quite happy to say, had built bombs for World War II. And they'd made money from government contracts building bombs. And his wife was a terror who ran a spa and just never wanted to give her employees what they were worth. You know? And I was like, and suffered from intense gluttony. You know, rolls and rolls of fat. Mortifying layers of fat. I'm like, come on, this isn't good. But they're always the ones in charge, you know? And they've got a lot of money, you know? They made a lot of money doing a lot of bad things that they think were perfectly good. I'm so glad my mother and father didn't make bombs, you know? I was talking to my mom, a rare exchange with my mom today. We talked about my dad, who basically built the Catholic business in North America, or in Canada, at the sales manager level, and was never really given his due. And she said, oh, he was given a franchise. My mom. Right? I said, no, he wasn't given the franchise. He was given a discount on the franchise. He took another mortgage out on the house, and the owner picked a place, or sold him an area, a franchise, that was the worst possible place to have a franchise. In basically economic Siberia, in Lower Surrey. And it didn't work. And he lost money, and he lost his house. And she's like, well, you know, he paid for his flight to go see his brother when he was dying. Oh, he does nice things for him. Really? Oh, wow. Having made hundreds of millions of dollars off of one single store that sold recreational goods, and my dad helped them narrow in on the truck accessory industry and did 90% of their sales in any given month or year for 10 to 15 years before they went public. You know, my dad made it happen. He got nothing out of it. No shares, nothing. You know? And it's like, these are the people around us. These guys are Christian, by the way. I won't give their name. But it's like, and it's like I said to my mom, I said, you know, I understand that he didn't have to. But it's like, he didn't have any ability at sales, but he did have the ability to sell my dad on a completely losing proposition as a testament of his faith in my dad's abilities to be that fucking gullible and exercise dominance over him. So now, or that later on, my dad's coming to him for help to get a good lawyer for my sister when she's breaking up a business, or to fly my dad somewhere. It's like, oh, that's nice. It's nice that he does you little favors. You know, my dad had virtually no retirement from that job. Acquired nothing. Went back to work because he had to, more on a symbolic level than anything else, because they probably advanced the computer systems. And you can bet that no salesman in any of their franchises to this day will ever do the business that my dad did. You know, ever. He's still alive, by the way, and well. And it angers me. And you would say, oh, that's not good. It's like, yes, it is. It's absolutely good. You know, I grew to resent this family that never took any particular interest in us, and we were at a lower economic station, right? It's how the economic system works. As long as my dad didn't assert some interest in raising his station in life and asking for more, which is like what a rule of negotiation, ask for what you want. And he didn't. And what you do when you're in a cult and someone has a hold over you is you content yourself, almost like a form of self-soothing, by seeing what you could do to serve them. Be a good worker. Be a good servant. Go to work, being a good servant. Hey, you know, being good to you, Hank. Hey, good. But you never ask for what you deserve. They never have to give you dignified treatment. And you constantly feel dependent on giving them more servitude. That's a master-slave relationship. That's a guru-disciple relationship. And it's built into spirituality, religion, God, the economic system, classes, and a lot of the ways that people end up resorting to behaving from all the different kinds of dislocations in their original family group. God, I hear myself. I'm not making myself feel any more positive. And I get this to my sister. Where do you take that? Really? I mean, where do you go with that? It's like, I don't know. I've never really written it down. You know, I don't really want to. It feels like I'm really talking about my dad's still friends with these people, weirdly enough. My younger brother is friends with this guy. I think, was his name. And it's like, ooh, gross. You know, do you have any idea the instability this man introduced into our father's life and into our home as a reward for all of his years of service? I mean, these people are monsters. You know, no, I'm not in their shoes. No, I don't know everything, but I remember my mom and dad having so many arguments. And, you know, it's just so weird how my mom kind of even defends this person. It's like, there's way too much servility in this world. I mean, I'm not saying out and out hate the guy and his family, but it's like, you get what you get. I mean, you know, my dad likes his job. My dad doesn't seem to want any more than he got. And there's no point in really asking for it now, I suppose, is there? But it's nice to know that he gives my dad little baubles, little favors now and then, I guess. You know, I mean, that's always nice. And, you know, and you get what you got, and I guess that's business. And it's like, it seems like the people who do well at business are the same kind of people that like to run cults. They're cult leaders. They always remain immune, and they always have a manager to do their nasty business. You know, they always have people around them to police other people or disaffected types. And the people who are too stupid to kind of walk away and say, I don't want anything to do with this. My dad came to this country. This is the first job he got, and he stayed there for over 20 years. He would come and go to work, and we knew the name of the job. We knew the brochures. And we seen the canopy brochures spread on the table. He worked. He had that ability. He put himself through college to, you know, do everything right. Forms, invoices, communication, written communication, calls. He advanced the wholesale industry for them, which opened up another huge economic source. He helped focus in on up-and-coming products, entering the industry at a fortuitous time, both in durability and lightweightedness and ease of installation, repair, whatnot. There's a young man, a cousin of mine, who actually created a lot of the methods and protocols to do a lot of the installations, who was given no credit. And indeed, in a strange sort of way that trickled down, my father actually had nothing but disdain for him. So another factor, like and eventually not for me either. So I wanna find a positive way through that. Yeah, I guess as I said, I would say give my dad a job, you could say. He bought the business, he owned the business, he ran the business, he paid taxes for the business, he took responsibility for the risk and the potential losses of the business. He already had a good deal of money, I believe, and had time to become quite an accomplished artist. His children had guaranteed careers. They probably couldn't have done anything else. But, take nothing away, they ended up working in the warehouse at the corporate office and whatnot. And three of my siblings, took themselves up to different pretty good professions. Myself, I think I was Chopin in a past life. And Tiela Tatanka, a young Irish boy on Salisbury Island nearby, who died in World War II. I think these things because I'm a different sort of person, I guess. But I feel so normal at the same time. I gotta go poo again, which is pretty good in a way. It's actually, wow, my body feels good to go poo. When something's really attacking, I'll probably have diarrhea. I haven't had that for a while. It's strange when I stay away from certain places, I don't have diarrhea anymore. What does that tell you? Stay away from thrifties, stay away from health food stores. I don't pick up parasitical energy. There's a place called Eat Fresh here. I feel confident to be able to say, I walk by that store and I've never liked it. From the moment it appeared, I felt something wrong. And sure enough, it's a cousin or a sister company to Naked Naturals, owned by some similar families, connected families. I don't feel any more welcome in each of these places. Yeah. If the lake is opened up down here, I can get through that. It'd be nice. That way, or I can come that way. So that's another place to go poo first. Poo poo. Gotta go poo poo. Poo poo. Poo poo. Gotta go poo poo. My mom is spectacularly healthy. I need to get my heart into a better place for my mom and for my home. I have to do that. And this next year is going to be a big positive thing for me. This whole year is a year of positivity, believe it or not. I have to punch through certain things.